Hello and welcome to Hughes of the World on Politics Social. I am Graham Hughes. Glad to have Billy Kershaw in the chat. Didn't really advertise this. I was going to do it on Thursdays at 6 o'clock, but I'm going to Liverpool tomorrow and I didn't want to try and rush everything and at the last minute do a show from my parents' house. So here I am. I'm still in Durham at the moment. And we're going to be talking for the next hour live about Croatia. Now, cards on the table. Croatia is one of my favourite countries in Europe, if not the world. It is an absolutely fantastic place. It is, you know, after going to Côte d'Ivoire, which is cool, you know. We're shifting gears tonight and going to Europe, and we're exploring the stunning landscapes and the rich history and the vibrant culture of Croatia, from the ancient walls of Dubrovnik to the idyllic islands in the Adriatic Sea. Croatia is a country that it blends history and beauty, but most importantly for me, adventure. and as you know, adventure is my middle name. No, it's not. It's Danger. No, it's not. It's David. But that's not the point. So let's talk about the geography of the place first. Let's dive into the geography. Just give me one moment while I go over to the map. So this is a map of, I'm reliably told, the world. This is what they call the world, apparently. You know, I don't know how they get away with that. They just do. They just do. So here we go. We've got the world here. I'm going to zoom in. And if you look at that particular country there, it's kind of a weird shape. It is a very weird shape. Why is it such a weird shape, Graham? Well, it's kind of like let me just do this so you can see the words a bit bigger. There we go. It's kind of like, how can I describe this? The Chile of Europe, because you can see it's hogged all of this coastline here. But the thing is, Slovenia and Croatia and Bosnia-Herzegovina and Serbia and Kosovo and Montenegro and North Macedonia all used to be one country. One country before it was seven. It was one country called Yugoslavia. And for you know, pretty much most people's lives, that's the way it was until the breakup of the former Soviet of the Soviet Union and breakup of Yugoslavia a few years later. This resulted in a war, which I'll get into in the history section. But essentially, they all split off into different countries, depending on different factors. The factor between Croatia and Serbia is a bit of a crazy one. The big difference between Croatia and Serbia isn't the language. They speak the same language, right? But they write it differently. In Serbia, they write in Cyrillic. In Croatia, they write using the Latin alphabet. But it's the same language. Yeah, so that's worth fighting over. There was a great article many, many moons ago by, what's the guy's name? Christopher Hitchens. Remember Christopher Hitchens? He wrote an article, and it was called something like The Tyranny of Small Differences, and it was really interesting. And it talked about how small differences between, you know, one country and another can lead to or, you know, one area of a country and another can lead to some of the most horrific ethnic cleansing and war and all that kind of thing you can imagine. So anyway, this is Croatia. We're going to zoom in a bit. Zagreb is capital city there, the only capital city in the world that begins with a Z, I think. We've also got Split down here. It looks like Split, but it's pronounced Split. And then down here, you've got Dubrovnik, which is really sexy. And then we've got these beautiful, beautiful islands over here, which are well worth checking out. I've been to Miljet here, and I've been to Hvar Island as well, which I think is somewhere. I think Hvar's. Is it Hvar? Hvar got news for you. Oh, we've got some other people in the chat. We've got Andreas Wolf. Hello, how you doing? And we've got Duke Vengeance. Just sorting dinner out. Yeah, you sort it out, lad. Sort it out. Anyway, so yeah, here's the country. So you get into Zagreb. Really easy to get to. You just go through Ljubljana in Slovenia up here, and then you can come down the coast here, visit Zadar, and then my personal favourite in this country, not to anyone's surprise at all, is Dubrovnik, which is right down here, which is just this amazing, amazing world heritage site. There's the old town there, and it was also where the film what's it called? Game of Thrones. It doubled for Game of Thrones sorry, it doubled for King's Landing in Game of Thrones, and it's quite amazing. I've got some video footage of this, which I'll be sharing with you later when I went there back in 2008. No, 2007. 18 years ago when I went there 18 years ago. Really doesn't feel like 18 years, but there's the old time. Right, now, if we go up the coast here, you'll notice something. Well, you'll notice it because I'm going to point it out to you. So see where it says Hrvatska here. This is the name of Croatia in Croatian. That's why the badges on the car say HR. It's not human resources. It's Croatia. And there's Bosnia-Herzegovina, and you've got this dotted line between the two. Okay, fair enough. But then there's this little place called Neum, right? And we'll zoom into Neum here. This is actually part of Bosnia and Herzegovina. You can see the borders there. I'll make the borders bigger so you can see them, right? This is an international border here. I don't know why they put the border around the bloody island as well. It makes it hard to see. But this is an international border, and it cuts Croatia in two. So there you go. I'm really struggling with this map. It's just got too much shit going on. I don't want to know every single village name. I don't need that. Why are you giving me every village? I don't want every village name. Don't give me every name of every village. Oh, that brilliant. Okay, you can see it. You can see it better now. Especially if I do this. Does that make it even easier to see? No. That's not that great actually. You see that little line? You see that black line there, the black line? That is Bosnia and Herzegovina, and there's Neum there. And this is Bosnia's access to the sea. Without this, Bosnia would have no access to the sea. Oh, actually, as a zoom out, you can see it even better. Okay, so this down here is a little slither of Croatia. And these islands here, they're all Croatian. But then they've got this little gap at Neum here. So I'm going to pull out a little bit here. And you can see, actually, you can see it really well now. This is a much better map. You can see that little gap there. They've actually built a bridge. They've built a bridge now between one end of Croatia and the other. Because the thing is, Croatia's in the EU. So when I went to Croatia many moons ago, I travelled down here and I travelled across from Zagreb down to Dubrovnik on the bus. And it wasn't too much trouble getting across Neum. I did it again 2007. I think it was before Croatia, just before Croatia joined the EU. And again, no problem getting through there. And then when I tried to do it again, that same journey, more recently, I've been stuck at the border for several hours because you're essentially going out of the EU and then you're coming back into the EU. So to avoid that, there's been a bridge built. I don't know if you'll be able to see the bridge on here. I don't really know. What does it do? Does it join up with here? I don't know, because this spit of land, I guess, is Bosnian. Oh, there it is. Yeah, there you go. That's the bridge. That's the bridge there. Hello. There's the bridge. And there's a picture of the bridge. So that's a bridge that allows cars to go down the road here. And then you can see them. They can go along here back into Croatia. So now, thanks to the bridge, you don't have to stop and get your passport stamped in and out of Neum. You don't have to do that anymore. So there you go. But you know, that was quite controversial because it means you can't get big ships now into Bosnia. You can see on the image of the bridge here that the gaps aren't that big, you know, for getting those really big ships through. And it means that Neum port here is sadly being neglected in terms of, you know, the size of the ships that can get in there. So there was and I don't know if there's still bad blood about it, but the people of Bosnia Herzegovina were not impressed at all. So Croatia, great coastal country, and I can't recommend it enough for that kind of, you know, that part of the adventure. I really recommend it. It's part of the EU, so once you're stamped into the EU, it's part of the Schengen zone. You can move around to your heart's content, and I really recommend visiting Dubrovnik, and you'll see more of that later in the show. Okay, so location-wise, it's in Southeast Europe, bordered by Slovenia, Hungary, Serbia, Bosnia, Herzegovina, Montenegro, and the Adriatic Sea. It is diverse landscapes. It's got diverse landscapes from the Dinaric Alps to the stunning Adriatic coastline, which I've mentioned, and it has over 1 1,000 islands. So you see these little islands along here? There's over 1,000 islands, which is amazing. 1,000 island dressing. The climate is Mediterranean along the coast, continental inland. So over in Zagreb, it gets quite cold in winter, whereas along the coast, it's pretty... It can get cool in winter, but generally speaking, it's like spring every day. It's beautiful. It is beautiful. And then we've got the major rivers, the Danube, and we've got the Sava and the Dravna River, which all congregate around Croatia. The time zone is GMT +1, or Central European time, and it does have daylight saving times in the summer months. Croatia itself has... sorry, I'm just going to jump into big mode. Hello, everyone. Hello, big. Like I said, it's got over 1,000. It's actually got over 1,200 islands, and only 50 of which are inhabited. So there's a lot of exploration to do there. If you've got yourself a little boat and you want to go around and do a little bit of exploration, it's a really cool place to do that. It is the origin of the necktie. The cravat originated in Croatia, and it was worn by Croatian soldiers in the 17th century. It's also got the world's smallest town, which is called Hum, in Istria, and that's the smallest town in the world with a population of just 30 people. Maybe you should announce that Ginger Island is now a town and just have like 2 people living there, and then that could be the smallest town. It's a very famous filming location, as I mentioned. Dubrovnik is known as King's Landing in Game of Thrones. It's also the birthplace of Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla was actually born in what's called Smiljan in Croatia, but he's claimed by Serbia because I think when he wrote things down, he wrote them in Cyrillic, not in... So they claim him because it was all one country. It was all Yugoslavia, or a version of Yugoslavia, or proto-Yugoslavia back then. So, yeah, it's a bit difficult, but where he was actually born is technically in Croatia, but he's seen as Serbian. So much so, he's actually on the money. He's on the money of Serbia, which we'll get to when we visit Serbia, I guess. Croatia now uses the euro, so forget about having Croatian money. It doesn't exist anymore. There's some amazing ancient Roman heritage here in Split. The Diocletian's, I'm saying this wrong, Diocletian's Palace is over 1,700 years old and really worth a trip. Also in Split, there's a wonderful, wonderful statue of a guy, and he looks like a goddamn wizard. Like, he's got a wizard's hat on, he's got a big beard, he's standing like this, like in a pose. And I'm just like, they've got a statue of Gandalf because why not? Why not? They've also got a unique musical tradition, which is called Klapa singing, or Klapa singing, which is a traditional a cappella style, and it's recognized by UNESCO. Also, it's the truffle capital of the world. Istria is known for its truffles, and including the world's largest white truffle. We love our superlatives here on Hughes of the World. It's also got a rich wine culture. Croatia has been producing wine for over 2,500 years, and they've almost got the hang of it, with over 130 different indigenous grape varieties. And also, they invented the parachute. How cool is that? So Faust Vrancic, his name was, Vrancic, a Croatian inventor, created the first functional parachute in the 15th century. Sorry, the 16th century. The 16th century. You weren't expecting that, were you? No, I wasn't. I wasn't expecting that at all. Whoa, that's really cool. The capital is Zagreb, and it's known for its historic architecture and its vibrant street art and its Christmas markets. The flag, just fluttering here in the corner. It was adopted in 1990. The Croatian flag features 3 horizontal stripes. Red, which represents bravery and sacrifice, the blood of the martyrs, etc. The white symbolizes peace and honesty, and the blue stands for freedom and hope. The coat of arms includes a red and white checkerboard pattern and 5 historic shields along the top, representing different regions of Croatia. The name Croatia comes from the medieval Latin Croatia, derived from the native name Hrvatska, which is what they call it. They call it Hrvatska. Around 4 million people live in Croatia, which is it's quite a small country. That's like Panama size. That's really small. It's got a declining population due to emigration and low birth rates. The people there are predominantly Croats, 90% of people, but it's also got Serbians, Bosniaks, there's Italian minorities there. And its people are known for their hospitality, which I can absolutely agree with. Having been there a few times now, I've probably been to Croatia about 5 times, I think, in my life. It's also got family-orientated culture and a love of coffee culture. If you're looking for somewhere, right, for a few days away in Europe that's a bit different, and you've been to Barcelona, and you've been to Amsterdam, and you've been to Paris, honestly, I can't recommend Croatia enough. It's close enough to just trundle down there on the EasyJet, or even go there on a train, which I've done a few times. And yeah, it's a really cool place to visit. It's a cool place to be. Its religion is predominantly Roman Catholic, no surprise, being so close to Italy. That's 86% of the population of Roman Catholic, and then the rest of them are Orthodox Christianity, Islam, and other minority religions. It's quite a religious country as well. You see a lot of religious artifacts around the place. You'll see like little shrines at the side of the road and all that kind of stuff. The government is a parliamentary republic. They don't have a king. The current president is Zoran Milanovic. I'll say that faster. Zoran Milanovic. And the prime minister is a guy called Andrej Plenković. I should practice these names before I start the show, but there's too many of them to remember in that way. But Andrej Plenković is the prime minister. The official language is Croatian, as I've mentioned, which is the same as Serbian. It's the same language spoken, but just written it's different. And the people speak also Italian, Hungarian, and Serbian, and they are recognized minority languages in the country. They have used the euro since January 2023, so 2 years now they've used the euro, and they previously used the Croatian kuna, the HRK. The GDP per capita is around $18,000, which isn't that much, but I mean, it's way better than it was back in the early 90s during the fall of the breakup of the Balkanization, ironically enough, of the Balkans. So Balkanization, the word came from the splitting up of countries into smaller districts. And that literally happened to the Balkans. It happened once before in history, and that's where we got the name from. And then it happened again. It's it's happening again. It's a nominative determinism there that the Balkan countries suddenly Balkanized. Now the Balkans, not to be mixed up with the Baltic states, they're different. That's Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia up near the border with Russia. But yeah, so it drives on the right. That's to be expected. Most places in Europe do. And then the economy is tourism driven, with over 20% of GDP coming from tourism. Agriculture, shipbuilding, and IT sectors are also significant contributors. But tourism is huge in Croatia. And you know what? The people in Croatia take it in their stride. And they are generally, in my experience, have been very welcoming to people coming from other countries. Unlike maybe people in Barcelona who aren't happy with all the tourism they get, which is understandable, but at the same time, it's a bit disconcerting because Barcelona is a cool city, but they just don't want as many tourists as they get there. So then we've got food and drink to talk about. We've got Pika, which is a little Pokemon. No, it's not. Pika is meat and vegetables slow cooked under a bell-shaped lid. We've got black risotto, which is made with cuttlefish or squid ink. We've got chivapi, which is grilled minced meat sausages, often served with flatbread. There's also drinks, rakia, which is a bit like raki, I think. Rakia, which is a fruit brandy, often homemade. Moonshine. And then there's local wines, especially from the Dalmatian coast and Istria. So let's dive into the history. Looks beautiful, says Oliver Brown. It absolutely is. It absolutely is. Billy Kershaw says, I thought you were going to Liverpool, you dirty stop out. That was the plan. That was the plan, my friend. But we're not going till tomorrow. I'm going to do morning brew here in Durham, and then I'm going to go after that. to go and see me mum, because it's gonna be my birthday, so I'm gonna go and see me mum. Okay, so let's talk about the history. This is the bit I'm interested in, the history. So pre-Roman times, ancient Illyrians, Croatia's earliest inhabitants were Illyrian tribes, known for seafaring, trade, and piracy along the Adriatic coast, as they probably called it. There's a huge Greek influence at this time. The Greeks established colonies on the islands of Vis, Hvar, and Korčula islands in the 4th century BC. And they introduced wine production and also trade. The Roman Empire went from the 1st century BC to the 5th century AD. There was the Roman conquest. They got conquested like we did in the UK. Well, England. They didn't get into Scotland because, the Scottish fought them off. The Romans defeated the Illyrians and annexed the region into the Roman provinces of Dalmatia and Polonia. And the development of cities began around this time. They built important cities like Salona near modern-day Split, and also Pola, which is now called Pula. It used to be spelled with an O, and now it's spelled with a U, okay? Big difference. It's like Calcutta is now Kolkata. You think I'm just making that up, don't you, when I say things like that? But no, it genuinely is. And then you've got Diocletian's palace, which is constructed in Split, and by Emperor Diocletian. I'm probably saying his name. Oh no, it's Diocletian. Say his name right, Graham. This was a retirement residence for Emperor Diocletian, and the palace still forms the heart of the city today. Christianity spread rapidly, with Salona, becoming a major Christian center. And then you head into the early medieval period, the fall of Rome, 476 AD. The area faced invasions after that by the Ostrogoths and the Byzantines and the Avars. Then the arrival of the Croats, the Croats from Hrvati people, a Slavic people, migrated to the region in the 7th century. So just like England is named after immigrants, named after people who came from another country to live on our land. That's the name of our country. That's how welcoming we should be to people from other places. Croatia, the original inhabitants of Croatia were not the Croatians. They came a little later on. Christianization, the Croats adopted Christianity under Pope John IV in 640 AD, and then the Duchy of Croatia was established by Duke Turpimir in 845, Turpimir in 845 AD, this is marking the beginning of Croatian statehood. And the Kingdom of Croatia in 925 AD. Tomislav became the first king, uniting Dalmatian and Pannonian Croats. And then we head into the High and Late Middle Ages. There was a union with Hungary in 1102 after the death of King Peter Savcic. Croatia entered a personal union with Hungary, maintaining autonomy under the Pacta Convention. The Pacta Conventa. Trade and commerce, Dubrovnik and known as Ragusa, back then, became a maritime republic and thrived on trade and diplomacy. Venetian influence was seen in Dalmatian cities such as Zadar and Split fell under Venetian control. Ottoman threat, the Ottoman Empire made several inroads into the Balkans, causing waves of refugees to Croatia. It's one of the reasons why there's a historical thing where Albania and Croatia and Kosovo are majority Muslim, and obviously Serbia and Croatia are not, and then Bosnia is somewhere in the middle. And then we go on to the early modern period, which was the 16th to the 19th century. There was the Battle of Sisak in 1593. The Habsburgs and Croats defeated the Ottomans, halting their advance. The Habsburg monarchy established the military frontier as the buffer zone against the Ottomans. settling Serbian refugees in the region. Austro-Hungarian Empire, Croatia became part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire in 1867, gaining limited autonomy as part of the Kingdom of Croatia, Slavonia. Now, in the 20th, which is where you get Yugoslavia from, kind of. In the 20th century, we head into the Yugoslav era. So World War I, the Austro-Hungarian Empire collapsed as a result of Archduke shooting an ostrich because he was hungry, and the First World War, and leading Croatia to join the state of Slovenes, Croats, and Serbs. The Kingdom of Yugoslavia from 1918, the end of the First World War, to 1941, Croatia became part of the Kingdom of Serbs, Croats, and Slovenes, later renamed Yugoslavia. I remember the adverts, like when I was a kid. I remember the adverts on the TV for visiting Yugoslavia back in the 80s. It looked nice then. It still looks nice. Andreas Wall says Dubrovnik was the biggest galore harbour of the Romans for a long time. It was told that the Romans felled all the trees on the islands. Ooh, yeah, that could happen. And then Dark4x4, I'm sorry I'm late. Please say you mentioned Croat means Thai, so Croatia is, Thailand. Yes. I didn't quite mention the fact it's Thailand, but yeah, I did mention the fact that they invented the Croat. That's where we get the name from. For the Croat Thai. So yes, we had the later renamed Yugoslavia. World War II, the Axis powers invaded Yugoslavia and established the independent state of Croatia, a Nazi puppet state under Ante Pavelic. Well, it's got a name, isn't he? Pavelic. I'm trying to say this right because it's spelled like L-I-C with an accent, but it's pronounced Leach, so it's Pavelic. Ante Pavelic and the partisan resistance led by Joseph Broz Tito, might recognize that name. The Yugoslav partisans fought against the Nazis and the Ustasta regime, and the Social Federal Republic of Yugoslavia from 1945 to 1991 was established. Croatia became a constitutional republic and experiencing economic growth and relative stability under Tito's leadership. I say leadership, I mean dictatorship. It was a dictatorship. Oh, there you go. Anyway, then there was the Croatian War of Independence. This is the wake of the fall of the Berlin Wall and also the breakup of the Soviet Union. So it started in 1991. Independence was declared on June the 25th, 1991. Croatia declared independence from Yugoslavia, which sparked a armed conflict. The Battle of Vukovar. The city was besieged by Serbian forces, symbolizing Croatian resistance. UN peacekeepers were deployed into buffer zones, and Dubrovnik got shelled to shit. Like, there was a lot of damage done to Dubrovnik at this time. Operation Storm in 1995, Croatia's military campaign recaptured Serb-held territories, leading to eventual victory. And then we had the Dayton Agreement in 1995, which officially ended the war and stabilized Croatia's borders. It's very important that countries respect each other's borders, because otherwise people die. Modern Croatia from 1995 to the present. Post-war recovery focused on reconstruction, refugee return, and economic reform. European integration. Croatia joined NATO in 2009, and then it became the 28th member of the EU in 2013. Sorry, I said it was a bit earlier in the show, but it was 2013 that they actually joined. They adopted the euro in 2023 and replaced the Croatian kuna. And there was an absolutely mad tourism boom. Dubrovnik, Split, and the Dalmatian coast became global tourist hotspots. And we've had political stability ever since. Parliamentary democracy with Zoran Milanovic as president and Andrej Plenković as prime minister, as I mentioned earlier. So Croatia today is a dynamic and modern nation, balancing traditional heritage with EU opportunities. Cultural influence, it's known for its filming locations, gastronomy, and cultural festivals. And its future challenges, tackling emigration, economic diversification, and regional cooperation within the Balkans. Obviously, relations with Serbia still aren't quite what they used to be. I mean, I don't know if they ever were, but some of the bitterness from the war in the mid-90s still is evident today. Once you meet up with some locals and get a few drinks inside them. I really like Croatia. I like Croatians. I like their attitude. I like the way they see the world. Serbia, I've had really good experiences in Serbia as well, so I'm not going to have a go at the Serbian people. But Serbia has, since the end of this particular war, obviously Serbia is to blame for a lot of the horrors that went on in Bosnia, although Croatia's not entirely, completely out the woods on that either. But Serbia is definitely to blame for the ethnic cleansing that occurred in Kosovo, and they still won't allow Kosovo to be recognized, and still fuss about it. Kosovo should be the 194th member of the United Nations by now, but it still isn't because of Serbia, which is backed up by Russia, and in return Serbia tends to back Russia up when Russia wants to do mad shit. Serbia, though, does want to join the EU, so there's a bit of wiggle room there, because obviously we need to bring them in from the cold. But even now, to this day, if you go to Serbia on the map here, you'll see the bottom here where you have Kosovo. It's a dashed line. It's not a solid line, because those borders haven't been normalized, as they say. They're not set in stone, so to speak. Now, I think they should be, and I find it really interesting that my videos, whenever I talk about Kosovo, whenever I mention it in one of my videos, this happened when I was traveling. Like, if I mentioned that I was going to Kosovo because I regarded it as a country, because it's recognized by my country, it's recognized by the UK as an independent nation, autonomous nation, I'd get loads of shit from Serbians writing in capital letters that Kosovo is Serbian. But here's the tip, right? If you want a region to stay part of the motherland, don't try and murder all the people who live in that region, because they might not have super great feelings towards you going forward. Anyway, so yes, I'll talk a little bit about my experiences in the moment. But first of all, getting there and away. And pretty easy. Like, there's international airports at Zagreb, at Split, Dubrovnik, and Zadar. There's ferry connections to Italy, coastal transport between the Croatian islands as well, which are nice and easy to get around. I would recommend, if you're going down there, getting the train from Italy. So if we just go back to the map again, you're gonna be sick of seeing this map in a moment. Like, Graham, quit with the fucking map, will you? But there is a little tiny bit of Slovenia here. So you can see here where Koper is. Can you see Koper? Triste and Koper, and you just go across from one to the other quite easily on the train, because that's all part of the Schengen area now. Right, so I'm going to just head over to my other feed now. My other feed, which is my video. So I'll give a little bit of an introduction to this. Let me just get the video up. So back in 2007, me and my mate Stan went to a music festival called the what was it called? The Exit Festival in Novi Sad in Serbia. And after that, we drove through Bosnia, went to Mostar and Sarajevo, and then we went over to Croatia, and then we drove down to Dubrovnik. So this is us driving down to Dubrovnik in our car here, in our little Mazda MX-5 that we were driving at the time. Let me just get my headphones here. This is good. And let's go. Let's go with this. So let's see if this works. Oh yes, beautiful. Okay, so I haven't watched this to vet it. I know it's edited. There might be some swearing. I don't know. If there's any recorded music, I might have to skip ahead because Google doesn't like that. So let's go.
Yeah, we made it! Woo, woo, woo. So we're just passing through Neum at the moment, which is a part of Bosnia. We've gone back in for a moment, to pass through, because this is their access to the sea.
And it is totally blink and you'll miss it.
Yeah, but it's here, and we're here now, and it's on the way to Dubrovnik, which is hopefully where we will be very soon.
Goddamn heat, man. I can't take the heat anymore. I gotta get out of the kitchen.
Okay, well, we've made it to Dubrovnik. It's now 5:10. just sorted out the parking, which is brilliant because, you know, I can't work out the parking in Britain, but we managed to do it in Croatia. Just walking under the arch here into the old town, Dubrovnik. First things first. Well, I'm going to show Stan it, but I'm going to show him the town as well. This is Dubrovnik. Those streets. Brilliant. What do you think of Dubrovnik, Stan?
Beautiful. Once again, you take me to all these fantastic cities.
Listen to me. If I ever let you down, look, nice big dome. We like domes.
No, it's not shiny though.
Not shiny like Stan's dome.
Hello. Here you go where I'm waiting. Yeah, I'm not interested. I'm going the other way.
I like this angel. He looks like he's cleaning a window. We've got to go up there anyway.
Yeah, I'm not going to run.
Oh my God.
Can't you just speed it up? Comedy styling.
While I run up the stairs, Stan's going to sing the tune from Rocky.
Doom. That's right.
We're about to find out what happens when you put the cat amongst the pigeons. It's getting ready.
I go to this UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Oh, go away, kid. Ruined everything.
Cat's thinking, you can't.
There's the pigeons. There's a cat. Cat. Pigeons. I was just sitting down, you rubbish cat. You're the worst predator I've ever seen. I can't believe we've come all the way to Croatia and the most entertaining thing we've got is a cat.
Doing nothing.
Doing nothing.
Oh. Stop attacking humans.
Oh.
Oh, he thinks.
Oh, you're in trouble now. Oh, you're in trouble. Come on, kitty cat.
He's still sitting down, he's not. He's thinking.
Oh.
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 Oh. Oh.
I think the problem here is that the pigeons have sussed out that if they just move away from the cat, he goes and looks for another one.
Behind you.
Behind you.
Behind you.
Behind you.
Behind you.
Come on, cat.
Come on, cat. Just this once.
Stan, champion pigeon herder, is going to supply this cat with his... Oh, he's got a friend. Oh, dear. Oh, I think they're going in a pincer movement. That's it.
I don't know why I filmed all this.
You're going to feel so guilty now, Stan. Oh, you're rubbish! Stan, stay still, mate. I think the cat's going to go for it.
Yeah, but he might go for me.
Pigeon's just showing off, isn't he?
He's going to go for you, you lemon. You're too big. So we just found out what happens when you set a cat amongst the pigeons. Absolutely nothing. Cats, you're rubbish. Go to the back of the class. No wonder you're so skinny. There's pigeons there to eat. I'd eat a pigeon.
I'll hold you to that one day.
If it was hungry and there was some pigeon pie on offer, yes, I would eat a pigeon.
It's all about the food, Stan.
It's all about the food.
So we just stopped here because Stan noticed that it said recommended by Lonely Planet, and because we're really sad and we just do what we're told. But this is sea bass.
Hello, Mr. Seabass.
He's about to get eaten by me. Lovely. Yum, yum. So Stan, do you reckon that was the best impression of Top Cat eating a fish ever?
I have to agree, because this guy hasn't got a clue on how to eat fish like a human.
I can't see much because the sun's very much in my eyes. Oh, I've got all red.
I think I've gone red. Yeah, I've gone red as well.
Colonel Blimp, look. Right, yeah, we're going to have a quick walk around the ramparts. But we have things to do. We have stuff to do this evening, so we have to be quick. Because Stan and I are such consummate cheapskates, we've refused to pay the €5 charge for roaming the city's walls. So we're trying to find a back way up there. Now, it being a fortress, this is probably a bit of a Herculean task that isn't going to result in failure, abject utter failure. But if we get one good view, that'll be good.
It will all be worthwhile.
It'll all be worthwhile. Look how far we've just come.
On the rocks.
Look how
hilly it is.
that to go, I'm afraid.
Jesus, whose idea was this? Okay, we're going down again. Obviously not a good sign, possibly because we couldn't find a way onto the ramparts, unsurprisingly. But we've got a sneaking suspicion. I've got a sneaking suspicion. There's like a little gateway down here that will reveal itself to us as being a way to the other side of this big wall here, right? And then we can see what it's like on the other side without having to pay to go on top. Watch this. Watch this. Ah, look at this. We have results.
Haha.
Hello.
We're out the other side
Get
of the
in.
walls. It's a secret exit that I discovered. I discovered this exit when I first went to Croatia in about 2004. And there's the city walls. It's like an absolute fortress on the rocks. It's just insane.
See? Even though the secret places are in Dubrovnik, where we can get down to the water and touch the Adriatic. Right. Okay.
So we've been in the Adriatic.
We've been in the Adriatic now. I'll put my hand in, which is just as good. Sophia, and then to England. Are we cutting this a bit fine?
We are cutting it very fine. This whole part be exciting.
We've got a bit of a mad plan for tonight, which is we're going to go to try and do 4 countries before we go to bed. So we're going to go to Montenegro, and then we're going to go to Albania, and we're going to Kosovo, which isn't a country yet, but it will be soon. And then we're going to end up in Macedonia.
No problem.
No problem?
No problem. We can do that. Shall we go?
Yeah, let's go. Come on, Stan, we have to run. Come on. We're going to get the car towed or a parking fine. And we've got to get to Skopje. Is it Skopje?
Skopje.
Skopje, which is the capital of Macedonia.
There you go, that's Dubrovnik. Look at it! Look at it!
Just appreciate how far down it is down there.
You're not getting in.
It's pretty.
Look at that.
It's pretty far down.
Getting in.
Put it this way, man. You're not getting in. That was the inspiration for the bridge at Casa Dum, in which Gandalf the Grey took on the Balrog. Gandalf died, got resurrected, came back as Gandalf the White, and kicked Saruman's arse. And that's how the West was won. While Stan gets the car started, I'm going to quickly explain our route tonight. We are here in Dubrovnik. We're going to go along this road to Kotor, and then we're going to Podgorica, and then we're going to come down here to Skoda. This is in Albania. And we're going to go along this road really, really, really fast to Prinzen, right? And then from Prinzen, we're going to take this little road here through the mountains to this place, which I can't even pronounce, Dagonovic. And then from Dagonovic, we're going to go down to Skopje, which is the capital of Macedonia. We have no GPS. We don't have any water. We don't have anywhere to stay at the destination, and we haven't really planned this out too well. But look at the view.
That's Dubrovnik.
Like you, Stan. Like you're someone over. But this is it. We are in Montenegro. Woo, woo,
Okay.
woo, woo, woo.
I'll leave that for another.
It's actually the youngest nation in the world,
He's very clever.
after declaring independence from Serbia last year.
There you go. See, dated it just there. So there we go. That was a little trip there to Dubrovnik. Me and my mate Stan. Stone cold sober. That's us sober. So you don't want to be around us when we're drunk. So we were driving, so we couldn't have a drink. Yes. What's the people saying? The only major problems I've ever had traveling through Europe are on the home island of Britain. Maybe not a great brag, but I've been places where it was technically illegal for me to go. That's from Darfur before. Okay, it wasn't illegal. It was just for me to love another human being. Well, yeah, I mean, I've got a lot to say about what's happening in America at the moment. There's a new Supreme Court challenge against gay marriage being legal across America, or, allow, not just legal, but a right for Americans. It looks like that right's going to be taken away, and it could result in gay marriages in about 16 states in America being annulled, ripping apart families, ripping apart loads of things. There's so many problems with this. It's insane. So Dark 4x4 and my other friends, it really sucks. I'm glad I'm not American. I'm very glad I'm not American. I'm watching an orange man trying to force a bunch of pigeons to a cat and saying, we need to take 4 countries. Orange man, God, sorry, Graham, lol. What? Was that mint? What was the car? It was a Mazda MX-5. We drove down in a Mazda MX-5 that we called Tracy Lords, and the GP. We had a Tom Tom Go, which we called Rita Chakrabarti. I don't know why. We just decided to call them those things. There wasn't a particular rhyme or reason for it. It's just representation. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed the show talking about Croatia and learning a little bit about Croatia and the story of, you know, the country. During my Guinness World Records setting journey, my journey into Croatia, I traveled. What I did was I came up. I went to I can't remember, Kosovo. I went to Kosovo, and then I tried to get into Serbia, but that border's closed. You can't go that way. So what I had to do is I had to take a left and go into Montenegro, and then come into Serbia. And the guy was really angry at the border point, and he stamped me passport. He stamped me my stamp for Kosovo. He stamped it with another stamp that said annulled on it in Cyrillic. And I looked and I went, mate, why have you annulled my stamp to Thailand? And he looked at it and he went, oh, yes, sorry. And he went to the actual stamp and then stamped it again, the actual stamp on another page, and stamped it again with annulled, because they don't regard Kosovo as an independent state. Whatever. Then I came back out of Serbia. I went through Montenegro, went up to Dubrovnik, and from Dubrovnik I got the bus all the way up to Croatia. I went through Neum in Bosnia-Herzegovina to tick that off the list, and then I went up to Split, and then up to Zagreb, and then over into Slovenia, and then from Slovenia I had to go back to Hungary because I'd left my backpack. Someone had taken my backpack off the train. Like, the train had come into the station. I was in the middle of something. I knew the train wasn't going anywhere, so it took me sweet time, like packing everything up. And then they go, and my case couldn't be in the carriage that I was in because there wasn't any space for it. So it was in the next carriage, not my case, my backpack. So I went to get my backpack and it was gone. It was gone. Someone had taken it, and someone thought that it had been left on the train. I was still on the train. Someone thought, because everyone had got off that carriage, and they'd handed it into lost property, and I didn't have time to try and get it back before the next train that I had to connect with. So I had to go all the way around Romania, Bulgaria, Greece, into Greece, North Macedonia, Albania, Kosovo, Serbia, Montenegro, Bosnia-Herzegovina, the Slovenia, and then back into Hungary, to Budapest, to get my fucking backpack back. Dude, where's my backpack? So there you go. Okay, so next up, we'll be heading over to Cuba, which will be next week. We're going to Cuba as the Cuban Lonely Planet from the year 2000. Let's all meet up in the year 2000 in Cuba. There, so we'll be heading over there, and then we've got three more countries from the bottom of the list of seas to go. We've got Cuba, then we've got Cyprus, and then we've got Czechia. So that'll take us up to episode number 45. So please join us next week. I'll be back on Thursday next week, not on Wednesday. I'm doing this special because I'm going to Liverpool. So if you would like to join us for that, you're very welcome to do so. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for all your comments. And if you want to just give us a like, just give us a little like on the way out, I'll really, really appreciate it, because we don't have a like. And if we don't have a like, no one's going to watch the video in the future on the playback. So I hope you enjoyed that. And until next time, I'll say thank you very much for watching. Hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.